Okay, this is Adventure for Life. I'm Joel. This is day 20 of the Grenadier 15,000 mile plus cross country trip. We spent last night in Deadhorse, Alaska at the, if you can see it on the distance, at the Brooks camp. Dormitory style living. This is where all the oil field workers stay, except we met some guys that are doing some work up here for AT&T, and they were staying here. Met the manager of the camp, and he said that the Brooks camp is the only place that will let non-oil field workers stay. I had been told that the Aurora camp would. Maybe they used to, maybe they still do, who knows, doesn't matter. You see a motorcycle over there in the distance. It looks like a BMW, like the one that I previously had. Well, there's a couple BMWs for sure, GS's. In fact, I had that. If you see the yellow one, that's the 40th year anniversary, and that's what I had, a 40th year anniversary model. Anyway, boy, would have been rough going on a motorcycle yesterday right here, because not so much because of the difficulty of the terrain, but there were several sections that were really wet, and you know, the mud just would have made it very difficult to pass. And as I mentioned when I checked in last night, Benny, the lady who's working the front desk, told me that she'd had several people that had gone down on their way here, and of course it would have been, you see how muddy the Grenadier is. Can you imagine being on a motorcycle and falling? Yeah, it would be nasty. All right, the camp manager also told me that there are no permanent residents up here. Everybody up here is 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. So, you know, I mentioned when I came into town last night that, you know, this isn't a city, this isn't a town, this is an industrial area, and that's exactly right. And, you know, again, appreciate them letting us stay, because otherwise we'd have been sleeping in the car. All right, another 493 miles back to Fairbanks. I'm gonna, like I said yesterday, not gonna shoot too much GoPro video, or at least I don't intend to. The guys from AT&T told me, you know, I mentioned yesterday that one of them had seen a grizzly bear. The guy told me exactly where to look to see grizzly bears, so hopefully we're going to get a chance to see some grizzly bears, probably be at a distance. When I watched the muskox video last night, I mean, it was a little disappointing, honestly. We'll try to expand the camera shot, because, you know, it was so close. We were so close to it, but in the video it looks like it's a long way away. Anyway, so that's the story. We're headed back to Fairbanks. By the way, breakfast is included, all food is included when you stay here. It's $400 for last night, and I slept about 4 hours. We actually got in the room, you know, at 11, something like that. And by the way, you know, the sun's about where it was when we went to bed last night at 11, so I don't know how much it's going down, if at all. By the way, one more thing about the Brooks camp. It was very clean in there. We did have bunk beds, but the room was clean, the bathroom was clean, everything was very clean. When you walk in, they had just got new carpet installed. When you walk in, they made you either take your boots off, because look, it is dirty. Everything around here is dirty. So they made you take your boots off and then put on little plastic booties, no matter what. So everybody in the camp, all these oil field workers, are walking around with booties on their feet. And then when you went in the cafeteria, you had to put little plastic gloves on. So they really were doing their part to keep things clean and whatnot, because you can imagine just how nasty a place like that could be if they didn't have some pretty stringent rules. So anyway, see you down the road. Okay, one last look at the Grenadier, the very dirty Grenadier, and the Udo Bay sign and the Arctic Ocean. By the way, I did misspeak yesterday, and I'm sure I've misspoken plenty of times, but that sign right there It says Dalton Highway, so the Dalton Highway does come all the way from where it starts to here, and we saw some mile markers. It seems like it was 380-ish, something like that, from where the Dalton Highway starts to here. So anyway, last look at the Arctic Ocean. We're headed south. Okay, I'm not gonna do a lot of filming, but saw these. I was advised by the LTT guys, those are not rain. There is your baby caribou right there. Yeah, okay, so not reindeer. Okay, we just left Yukon River, filled up with gas. We've got about 130 miles left to go to Fairbanks. You can obviously see how unbelievably dirty the Grenadier is. God, I didn't think it'd get any dirtier than it already was. And then you see the back of this thing, just incredible. Anyway, I stopped here. One other thing. I thought, you know, I told you I was going to use the drone all day today and shoot a bunch of footage. I got some. It's good, not great, but I thought, hey, we're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, so the signal between my phone or the controller for the drone is going to be so clear, I'm going to be able to do anything I want to. Well, I learned something. I maybe knew it before and had forgotten it, but the drone has to have a cell signal. So it somehow triangulates, or whatever the word is, between multiple cell phone tower signals to determine where it is and where in position to either yourself or the vehicle it is and whatnot. And it couldn't do that without the cell phone signal at all. So anyway, so why did I stop here? We saw this on the way up yesterday, and there's another wreck that I may stop and show you, but here's what not to do with your car on the Dalton Highway. Do not leave it on the side of the road in any kind of damaged condition, because others will come by and turn it into an absolute piece of junk. I don't know where Lou is, so this is what happens to your vehicle when you either have a wreck or a flat tire or whatever on the Dalton Highway, and you leave it out here for a little while. People use it for target practice and other stuff like that. All right, we'll video a little bit more down the road. Okay, we made it back to Fairbanks. I'm going to do a synopsis after I get this thing cleaned up, but I thought I'd give you a before and after of the car. I'm not gonna try to make this thing spotless. I'm just gonna try to get the nasty off of it. And I thought it'd be a little fun to video the before and after. It is nasty. I think I'm probably gonna get really dirty in the process, but that's the way life goes. Okay, so this is the after. Spent $18.25. Sprayed a bunch of soap on it, sprayed a bunch of water on it, and got the worst of it off. I'm sure there's still lots more gunk on there. Maybe I'll drive through a rainstorm or something and a little natural cleansing will happen. I'm going to have this car detailed when I get back. There's a little mud right there. I'm gonna have this car detailed when I get back. So I'm not too awful worried about it. I just wanted to get the nasty off of it because I didn't want to get dirt all over me. Okay, this is the conclusion of day 20. I am at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fairbanks. It's 11:45 p.m. right now. So a reasonable question would be, what in the world am I doing up? Another reasonable question would be, why in the world is it so light? Well, it's cloudy right now. So if it weren't for all the clouds up there, it would be even lighter. Anyway, it has been a long day. Woke up in Deadhorse and drove all the way back to Fairbanks. Yesterday, we woke up in Fairbanks and drove to Deadhorse. So 2 long days. Yesterday was a 15-hour driving day. Today was 14, and the difference was the construction crews, road construction crews, were just, you know, things worked out a little bit differently in the road construction area. As you can see, it's clean, so you saw that just a second ago. First, you know, the original objective of this trip was to drive from Key West, Florida to Deadhorse, Alaska, to go from the far southeasternmost point of the U.S. to the far northwesternmost point of the U.S. And when I say far northwesternmost point, obviously there are more northwestern points in Alaska, but none that you can get to by road. So this was drive from mile 0 all the way to mile whatever. So when you get to Deadhorse, again, it's not a city, it's not a town. There wasn't even a sign that said Deadhorse. It's an industrial park. It's oil field workers and oil field companies and whatever they need. You know, I said earlier, the guy who ran the Brooks camp told me that nobody is allowed to live in that town because it's not a town. Maybe it is a town, I don't know. But anyway, so let's talk about the trip. Again, beautiful scenery, beautiful scenery. Couldn't ask for any better from that standpoint. And yeah, we drove 15 hours yesterday, and yeah, we drove 14 hours today, but it was beautiful. Enjoyed, I hate to say enjoyed every minute of it. From a scenery standpoint, we enjoyed every minute of it. How about the road? So I talked about that already. Interestingly, the road seemed better on the way back. Is that because we were more used to it? Is that because the other lane really was a little bit less, you know, messed up? Don't know. But the drive did seem a little bit better today, partly probably because it was an hour shorter. But rough road. And, you know, I saw several motorcycle guys out there, and some of them made it. I suspect some of them didn't, because it was rough going. How about the Grenadier? Again, the Grenadier did a fantastic job. Suspension's great, comfort's great. I know I said this yesterday, I'm gonna say it again. Listen, I was not easy on the suspension on this car. That road is rough, and I just plowed right into stuff. Now, did I try to dodge the potholes? Yes. Did I dodge them all? No. There's way too many of them, too hard to see, and I was going too fast. I mean, I probably got passed once, twice, maybe. I probably passed 100 vehicles. It wasn't a race to me, but you know, you've heard me say it before, I'm going to get on down the road, and I'm an aggressive driver, and I just passed a bunch of people. And so you're hitting what potholes you see, you're trying to avoid the ones that you don't avoid, you hit hard. It's going to be interesting when I take this thing in for an oil change next time. I'm going to get them check the alignment and see, you know, is it knocked out of alignment or whatever. This thing handled some big nasty potholes just fine at speed, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, boom, and it handled them. So, I mean, did you get rocked a little? Yeah. Could you feel a washboard? Yeah, but it was good. Another thing that happened today, which is bad news, you know, here we go. You know, and I'm not surprised at all, but guess what? I got a brand new windshield about a week and a half ago, and I'm gonna get another one. You know, got a star there, and actually there's 2 of them, and then later took a rock right there, and it split all the way around there. So I'm gonna get another new windshield. I took another rock about here-ish, and won't be surprised if that doesn't crack there also. Anyway, again, $2,200. It's gonna be interesting to find out how insurance handles this stuff, because the first go round, as far as I know, everything paid 100%, good to go, done. Are they gonna do that again? Is there a limit for how many windshields per year? Are they gonna charge me a deductible next time? I have no idea. I'm gonna find out. I honestly thought about not getting my first windshield replaced, because I knew, quote unquote, knew that I was gonna take a rock and bust this windshield driving up to Deadhorse and back, and made it up there without it, but on the way back took 2 separate rocks that cracked the windshield. So that's it, I guess, for day 20. Tomorrow heading back to Whitehorse, Canada, then on to whatever the next couple of towns are, and back to Edmonton. So the next couple of towns are Fort Nelson, then Edmonton. And then from Edmonton, at my wife's suggestion, apparently she doesn't want me to come home, I'm going to drive across Canada all the way to Maine, and I'm going to stay in Canada until I get to, I think, where Montreal and Maine touch each other and cross over there. So I've got another 10 days of this. I crossed over I didn't hit the 11,000 mile mark today, but I will tomorrow. So I won't be surprised if I don't get to, for sure 18, I'm gonna say, could get to 20. Anyway, trip's been fun so far. I've said to several people, I made it to Deadhorse, and all I gotta do now is drive home. Well, that's what I'm doing, except I'm doing it in a kind of circuitous manner by going across Canada first. Looking forward to that. And again, thank you guys for coming along, and I'll see you out there. I'm not going to film the next couple of days because it's just going to be a repeat of what I did a few days ago, and I'll pick it up when I go from Edmonton to whatever the next town is to the east. All right, see you then. Thanks for coming along.